Okay, so this question is asking us to find the rate of change of the depth of the water in centimetres to second -1 when the height is at 6 centimetres. So this is our vase, and as you can see it's a curved vase, so as it fills with water the rate of change changes. So how do we find that? Well, we're given that the volume is 4 pi h, h plus 4. So let's write that down. So phi equals 4 pi h, h plus 4. And let's just multiply that out. H by all those gives us 4 pi h squared plus 4 times the front is 16 pi h. So we know that already. Okay, that's our V. Now we've got the water flow rate, which is 80 pi. So what we can say here now is that derivative of V with respect to time equals 80 pi. Okay, so we've got that. So now what we need is a little formula for all the derivatives to put together, and then we can work out how we're going to do it. So what we can say is that dV over dH times dH over dt equals dV dt. Okay, so basically that means the flow of the water, so the volume with respect to height, so the rate of change of that times the rate of change of the height with respect to time will give us a rate of change of the volume with respect to time. Okay, so how do we go about that? Well, we've already got dV dt, so that's 80 pi. And we can also find dV dH because we've got this formula here. So the derivative of V with respect to H equals the derivative of 4 pi h squared plus 16 pi h with respect to h. So that's the h's. So these 4 pi's are all just constant multiples, so we'll treat them as accordingly. So dV dH is now equal 4 pi h squared, so 2 times 4 is 8, then the h comes down to 1, so it's just a h, so pi h. Then 16 pi is a constant multiple, the h is to the power of 1, so that disappears, it just becomes 16 pi. Okay, right, so now we're interested in what happens when h equals 6. So when h equals 6, we've got 6 8s are 48 pi plus 16 pi, which equals 64 pi. So let's plug these numbers in here now. So we've got an 80 pi and we've got a 64 pi. So dV dH we have as 64 pi times dH dt, we don't have that yet. dV dt, well this is just 80 pi. So now what we can say is that dH dt equals 80 pi divided by 64 pi. Pi divided by 64 pi, well pi divided by pi cancels out. 80 divided by 64, common factor of 16, so it's now 5 over 4. So the rate of change of the depth of water in centimetres per second to -1 when h equals 6 is the rate of change, i.e. height, of respect to time, so dH dt. So what we can say is that the answer to this question is 5 over 4 centimetres per second to the -1. Or you could also say 1.25 centimetres per second per -1. And there you go, that's our answer.